I use my milling machine for drilling quite a lot, because it's nice to get the holes where you actually want them. And because I'm planning to tear this thing down to rebuild it, I'd like to set something else up for precision drilling. I've got this cross slide table that I picked up for cheap because it was all rusty. I cleaned it up, and now it lives in a drawer and never gets used. It's a John Stevens from Connecticut, decent American-made piece of iron. And to go with that, I've got this old Delta drill press that I found by the side of the road for free. The serial number on this puts it at 1943, another wartime machine. And it works in the sense that it spins around and goes up and down and can put holes in things. But I know it's got some issues. Probably the most obvious one is it's missing the table. But if I'm putting this cross-slide table on, I don't know that I need it. So I'm going to do my usual break it down, clean it, and address the issues that I find. But we're going to do a little change of venue today too. I'm involved in trying to get a makerspace started around here, and we're doing an event to promote that. So I'm going to use that as an opportunity to talk to folks about the joys of restoring vintage tools. The next issue is there's a lot of play in the spindle. I'd expect some in a drill press, and that's why this setup is really only suitable for drilling and not milling. But we'll see if we can't get this better. The hard part of this is not getting your hands in the shot. Another obvious issue is the spindle pulley has 4 steps, and the motor pulley seems to have an extra one. loosen this. And then it's supposed to slide out, maybe?
Basically,
There we go.
are you filming that?
Yep. There were a couple things I saved for taking apart back at the shop. One is taking the column out of the base. It's pretty well corroded in there. It took a bit of heat, but I managed to get the base to slide up the column. Now I'm going to clean this up, make sure there's no burrs on it, and it should slide off the bottom. That felt like a lot of work to be able to do this. But it's probably worth it. I wasn't really planning on painting these parts, but the Evaporos seems to have had a different idea. It's probably for the best anyway. One of the holes that holds the screw for the adjuster for the motor bracket is broken out. It was missing. I see why now. I'm going to see if I can grind that out and slather some braze in there. It's not the prettiest braze, but should work. I'm going to fill in the holes I don't need here. So I kind of screwed this up because I didn't have this in quite right. So when I pushed this bearing in, it screwed up the shield on it, which meant the bearing wouldn't turn. I tried to pop the shield out, because that's pretty well shielded anyway, but that's actually what controls the end play on this, which is an odd system, but anyway, new bearing, 6205, and I turned up a custom hub, since this is integral to the race. Bit of everyone's favorite green goo, never comes out. Just do it this way. So I've only got 2 of these bolts that go in this front cover. Replacing it with, one from the hardware store wouldn't look right. Head on this one's a little chunkier. So, knock up one on the lathe, and while I'm at it, do a couple for the motor mount as well. Couple other little bits I can stick back on here for now. Not entirely sure this is the right screw for here, but it's what was in here. I guess that's supposed to be a little lock nut. I think I'm going to leave off about here. Next time we'll get into the motor. It's starting to come back together.